Hi guys, so my brother just turned 25 and he reached out and said, bro, please, can you tell me some things you wish you knew when you were 25? And I thought of some things that were like, okay, I think this would be cool. I shared with him and I thought it would be cool to share with a wider audience, so that's why I'm making this video. So I'll just run through them, so come along with me. Number one. Number one thing I wish I learned when I was 25, or I wish I knew, is that I wish I made a lot of friends. Yeah, like a lot of good friends. Because sometimes in life, it might not just, sometimes life is just about connections. You know, people you know, connections you've made. You know, some of the best jobs I've gotten today was from friends I met in school or people I knew, you know, my network and stuff. So make a lot of friends, widen your network. Number two, learn a skill. You might have an education is different, but still learn a skill. You might go to school maybe to be a doctor or something, but have something else, something handy, like a handy skill that you need to know, or you to know, because sometimes that can be a lifesaver. In situations where maybe your education is not paying, you could be making some money on the side, you know, with your skill, or you could even make a lot sorts of livelihood from just, you know, physical skills that you have. Could be painting, carpentry, internal decoration, making hair, you know, doing stuff, you know, but basically something you can do with your hands. So it's different from education. Apart from education, make sure you have a skill. Number three thing I told him was to be involved in a very forward-thinking church. I included that because personally I learned a lot of things for myself from my church. Not just any church, but church that's forward thinking, that teaches you practical, active things, you know, that can link what the Bible actually says with everyday life, and how you can actually apply the Word of God in a very simplified form in your workplace, in your day-to-day relationship with people. So I learned a lot with church, and also a good platform to network, to meet a lot of people, you know, also a good platform to learn how to serve others without having asking for anything in return. That's number three. Number four thing I told him was to read everything you come across. Read a lot of books, read articles, watch documentaries, like a lot of random things. I told him I learned this from somewhere. I actually learned from a pastor in church. He said you should be uncomfortable if you're in a place and then let's say like 10 topics are being discussed and you can contribute to maybe 6 to 8 of them. You don't have to know everything like in details about the entire 10 topics, but you should know like the basics, you know, that there is to know on that particular topic. So you only learn that from a lot of reading, doing a lot of research, just watching a lot of educative stuff, watching documentaries, just read random things other people will not read, weird topics, you know, just read, watch things, watch animations, watch documentaries, watch random movies, you know. A collective of all these things actually make you like a better person and make you very feel very learned. So like I said, if 10 topics are to be discussed, tell yourself this, that if 10 topics are to be discussed, that you should be able to contribute to at least 8 of them. Maybe not in details, but introductory you know, knowledge in those fields. That's number four, I think. And then the number five thing I told him was to learn a life skill. Remember we talked about skill earlier, that was regular skill. Now this one is a life skill. Life skills are things that you probably can survive with. For example, something like swimming. Swimming is a life skill, you know, in case you find yourself in a situation where you have to do something like that to survive, you know. Swimming is a life skill you should learn. Something like driving, you know, a skill like cooking. Interpersonal skill is also like a life skill. So that's number five thing I told him to learn. So I'm trying to charge my laptop here. All right, so the other thing I told him was to know how to groom himself, you know, to know how to dress, you know, things like personal hygiene is very important. Dress sense is very important. Scent, how you smell, is very, very important. These are things that people take for granted, but these things can mar or make your relationships. Also, things like how to color coordinate your clothing, how to spice up um, your fashion sense, your personal effects, and all those things. You should take time to learn. Look at people that dress very well and see how you can copy a thing or two from them. Never compromise on things like how you smell. Your odor is very important. Body odor, mouth odor, anything that has to do with scent about you. Those are very, very important. Don't compromise on them. And also, I told him number 7 to learn how to speak very, very well. Learn how to speak very, very well. This talks about things like public speaking and also how to write. Basically, learn how to express yourself very, very well, in case you find yourself in such situations, because this is actually very, very important. You find out that in life, most times it's not the maybe the smartest people that necessarily succeed, but people that can actually carry themselves well, people that can express themselves well. They tend to succeed more than others because they have the ability to talk. There are instances where I think this was like back in school, where maybe you have a project. Sometimes the smartest person might not be able to convey, to present in the best of ways. The people that are able to speak convincingly, on the topic, they usually carry the day. So public speaking is very, very important. Learning how to write well, learning how to communicate well. These are things that you should learn by the time you're 25. The other thing I told him, number 8, is not to be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to take calculated risk in terms of things like investment. At that age, you're very free to try new things. Like, you really won't have much to lose. It's better to experiment at that age, try new businesses, learn all that you can, experiment at that age, and you learn your lessons. And you know what's good and what's not good by that age. You should know all that. Number 9 thing I told him was that he should travel as much as he can. I had to explain that exposure sometimes might be more important or as important as the formal education. I'm a firm believer that no matter how educated someone is, if the person is not exposed, you can always tell. You can always tell if someone can be like a PhD holder or what's the highest form of educational degree someone can attain, but you can still tell that there's a part of this person that is not well rounded. You can still tell when there's a part of the exposure lacking in this person. We had this kind of issues for those of us that maybe went to school in Africa, for instance. You had a lot of professors, they have all these doctorate degrees, but when it comes to life skills, social skills, interpersonal skills, how to relate with people, they really, really didn't know that. You just know that, okay, that exposure is lacking. So travel does to you more than what a year in school probably would not. So I told him to try to travel as much as possible, take trips. Take trips. You learn a lot from your trips. And also I told him to remember each trip he takes. For every trip he goes for, you should try to get an item, buy maybe from tourist shops or something. Get an item to make you remember that country, that city that you went to. Travel a lot. Travel is very good for exposure. The next thing I told him, I think they should be number 10, was to know himself. The way I write it here, I say know yourself and your triggers, and know how to manage them. For instance, if you're like a very angry person, or find that you get angry easily, you get very emotional easily, those are things you should understand about yourself, and then you should know how to control those things and how to manage them. Okay, you shouldn't be at the control of others. You shouldn't be controlled by other people. What I mean is that, for instance, someone knows that you get angry easily, and then maybe when they just know how and when to trigger you, and then you blow up and express that thing, and they're like, that's it. They want to get you out in the room, they need how to, or they know how to press your button to get you to react in certain ways. Like, know your triggers, know your emotions, and then know how to manage them. That way, people will not be able to manipulate it. I also told him, this is the number 11th point, I told him to do things that make him happy. you know, to do things that make him happy. This is very important. People really don't take recreation as, important that they should. I find that, or maybe as he grows, he finds that like recreation is actually very, very important. That he should proactively plan and take out time, for recreational activities and things he enjoys doing. Tell him to create time, to do much of the things that make him happy. Number 12 thing I told him was to consciously plan and create time for rest. Consciously plan and create time for rest. Most people don't do this. Plan yourself, plan your week, plan your month, plan your year. I think the white folk that are very good at doing this, they don't joke with their vacations. Every year they've already planned. They don't mind spending all the money they made that year or the extra money they have that year on taking trips, going to some random place, and they stay long, go for a week, 1 month, just well rested, go with the entire family, do everything there is to do in that country, in that location, and then come back refreshed. That's something I want him to learn early in life, to know how to plan and create deliberate time for rest. This will also help you help him when he has a family, to know how to deliberately create time to spend time with his family. The next thing I told him, which is number 13, I think. Number 13, yes, it says everything you ever achieve in life hinges on your health. Everything you ever achieve in your life hinges on your health. So once your health is compromised, once you're sick, everything grinds to a halt. All the things you've been chasing, all the dreams and everything will automatically stop once you're not healthy. So I told him to take his health very seriously. Whatever he needs to do, he needs to eat healthy, he needs to exercise. Basically I told him to, there's this thing I usually say, I think I've tweeted this once. I say you should treat your body as a house you want to live in for the next 70 years. Let that sink in. Treat your body like a house you want to live in for the next 70 years. So exercise, eating healthy, rest, whatever you know that you have to do for yourself to keep you healthy, just go ahead and do those things. Of course, everywhere you read, if you're reading about health, there's nothing they'll talk about that they won't mention eating healthy and exercising. These are probably probably hydration, that's drinking water. These are very, very important, basically that affect all aspects of your health. Affect all aspects of your health. I tell people that your body is meant to be mechanical, in the sense that it's meant to be moving. Your body has a lot of joints, fluids, and all that muscles that are meant to move. Once you don't achieve that, the amount of movement required, that your body needs, you begin to have problems. Your heart is supposed to be, the health of your heart is actually very important, and your lungs, and you only keep these guys healthy most times when you're active and when you work, when you exercise rather. As you exercise, you breathe in a lot, you inhale a lot, and what actually happens is that you're taking a lot of oxygen that gets mixed in your blood and is sent to all organs in your body. Once that happens continuously, your organs of your body will be in good health. But if the organs of your body are deprived of oxygen, they start having problems. They start to malfunction, they start to break down. So exercise is very important. Don't forget, you're meant to be mechanical, you're meant to move. So make sure you move as much as possible. Our generation is actually the most affected because a lot of us we've embraced remote work, and then we work from home. So we just sit in front of our computers all day. So we have to deliberately create time and create the habit of exercising. On to the next point. The next point I told him, number 14, was to love himself, to fall in love with himself. I told him that if he can master this, that no one will ever make him feel less of himself. No one will ever make him feel inferior. Nobody will ever make you feel like you're not good enough if you love yourself. So see it as, if you love yourself, there's nothing anybody else will tell you about yourself like that will make you feel bad, because you already know, you've already accepted those facts about yourself. So if some other person mentions it, it's something like you're already aware of, and you can just disregard it. Love yourself. When you love yourself, people cannot take advantage of you. You know your worth. And then number 15 was that I told him that God is very important. I told him to know God, that everything in life, literally everything in life, is rooted in God. Your life is empty if you're not channeling that energy. It's typical for human beings. Like you have to have a passion. You have to have something that all your reference, all your energy is channeled into. If it's not God, it will definitely be something else. Like that space cannot be void. Is either you feel it deliberately with something, or something else will feel it for you. Okay? If you're not worshiping God, you worship something else. You worship a celebrity. You worship a habit. You worship a lifestyle. So channel your energy to God. God is supreme. God is very important. Everything is rooted in God. And number 16 is that your family must always feel the impact of your success. I'll say that again. Number 17. No, that's number 16. Your family must always feel the effect of your success. Do for them more than you do for outsiders. Do for them twice what you do for outsiders. That's very, very important. Make sure you give to your family first. Make sure your family feel the impact of your success, of your finances. They must be like the first beneficiaries of every good thing that happens in your life before outsiders. Keep your family close. Your family is very, very important, because sometimes by the time the chips are down and shit hits the fan, it's always family, either your wife, your partner, your children, the ones that will always be there for you. Friends and outsiders will always go away, but your family is they are the people that always be there for you. So treat your family, prioritize them in everything and anything that you do. Number 17 now, I guess. Number 17 is that you should learn the act of individualism and having a mind of your own. I told him not to be easily swayed by the crowd mentality. In the sense that because the masses are doing it doesn't mean it's right. Because something is trending doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it has good morals. Okay, but if you've learned the act of individualism and having a mind of your own, if you have a mind of your own, you won't be swayed easily. You won't be swayed easily by the crowd. And also I told him that if he argues, maybe there's something trending and for some reason he's not doing it, and then people will definitely ask you or maybe attack you, like, why are you not doing this, why are you doing this, or sometimes when he's trying to prove a point. I told him if he's arguing, if he ever has to argue, he should always argue with facts and data. He should always use data as the basis for his argument. It's the best way to argue, it's the best way to make your point. And I told him to be comfortable with himself and be comfortable with his looks. Number 18 now, tell him to learn something new every day. This is something I personally do for myself. I have a lot of means, a lot of avenues that I learn things. For instance, every day I must watch a video or listen to something that's related to relationships, career, fitness, family. I think about 5 of them. It doesn't necessarily has to be, and maybe science and technology. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a big thing. You could just watch like a short video on a topic you've probably never heard of, something you don't know, or read up something, Google up something and read. For me, it's as simple as learning a new word every day. I have an app on my phone that gives me new words every day to learn, and maybe give me the definition of how to use that word in a sentence. That's enough for a day. Do something that challenges your mind every day. Learn something new, build your diction, how you speak. In life, you always have to speak, you always have to talk to people, build your diction. What it does, it gives you options, more option choice of words that you can use while expressing yourself. So learn something new every day, even though it's as simple as a word that you learn in a day, or a new thing. It could be from a movie, from a documentary, whatever source, podcast, whatever it is. But try to learn something new every day. Now number 19. Number 19 says a lot of people will ride with you because of your success. A lot of people will ride with you because of your success. A lot of people will ride with you because of your money. A lot of people will ride with you just maybe because of your vibes, etc. But whatever reason people find to come around you, want to spend time around you, the fact that the reason, maybe you just know that this person is around you maybe just because of money or because of what they get from you. Irrespective of that, I tell him to treat everyone nicely, but he should learn the skill of knowing how to decipher, how to tell who is a legit friend, who is a true friend, and then keep those people closer. He can also have a strategy to keep those ones that are not there for genuine reasons, are not adding value to him. He can keep them, find a way to send them away, but he should make sure that he finds how to find the legit people and keep them closer to himself. And also, but irrespective of that, he should make sure he treats everyone equally and very, very nicely. That's number 19, I guess. Yeah. Next one is okay, we just finished number 19, so next one is number 20. Number 20, I told him that integrity is a valuable currency. Be known for it. Try as much as possible not to tell lies. Don't lie regarding anything. Let people know you to be someone that stands for truth. Because one thing about lying is that when you tell one lie, you forget it. And then also when you tell a lie, most times you need to tell more lies to cover up that lie. So integrity is very important. Try to be as credible as much as possible. Tell the truth as always. The truth will be the same today, tomorrow, and always. You won't have to try to remember what you actually said the last time. You just need to remember what actually happened. So integrity is a currency. Be known for it. 21. Be a good human. Be kind. Help people whenever you can, including strangers. Do some random acts of kindness. Be nice to everyone. Help as many people as you can. Number 22, that you shouldn't look down on people. You should treat everyone equally with respect, irrespective of their social pedigree, their race, their tribe. You should treat everyone equally. You shouldn't look down on anyone, maybe because of maybe achieved status in society or for whatever reason. Don't look down on anybody. Treat everyone nicely and equally. Number 23, speak positive always. Speak positive always about yourself, about your life, about others, about situations. Speak positive. Don't be known for negativity. Don't be known as that pessimistic person. Don't be known as a negative person. Speak positive only, and that doesn't mean you should lie or you should you should try to lick people's asses. That's just be friend and speak positive every time. Number 24 is we talked about character. I talked to him about character. I told him that how this should be like the order of priority for him. You should watch out first for character. Then next thing you should watch out for is values and beauty. So the way I framed it is character, values, and beauty in that order, and that you should never compromise the first two. Now, this is very important, and this is very relatable if you're talking about in terms of maybe relationships. You're trying to choose a life partner, you're trying to be with someone. So character is very important. Don't compromise on it. The values, the person's values are very, very important. Don't compromise on it. Then beauty should always come last. Should always be like the third thing in this order of things. Character, values, beauty, in that order. And I told him not to compromise on the first two. Never compromise on character, on people's character. Never compromise on people's values. Those two don't compromise. Beauty is left to you. It's something you can do without, but character and virtue or values, don't compromise on those two. If someone does not have those first two or lacks any of those first two, it's a no-no. It's a no-no, because those two they affect every other thing in life. Beauty is so easy to forget. Beauty is an attribute that can change the next minute. It can change next month. People age, people get sick, people maybe get involved in accidents, or God forbid some silly things happen. But those are the intrinsic values that are inside in them. Those are more important than the physical one, the beauty. And then lastly, I told him that education gives credibility. Education gives credibility. It gives you advantage. People actually believe more educated person than a less educated one. Educated people can easily sell bull to you, and then you believe them. But when someone is maybe not educated, and it's people doubt them easily. Okay, so I told him that education gives credibility. So whatever he's doing, be it in business, in marketing, if someone comes with a CV, let's say two persons in this equation, in this equation, and maybe the other person does not have any, let's say, a degree, a higher degree, and then this other person is telling you that he graduated from an Ivy League school, like an Oxford or MIT, Yale or something, and if they give you like a business proposal, you're definitely and naturally more inclined to believe the Oxford guy, the guy from the Ivy League school, okay, than this other person with no pedigree, no academic background and stuff. So education gives you credibility. It sort of makes your life easy. It's like it helps you like putting one foot in the door. Okay, it gives you credibility. People will doubt you less when they say that, okay, you have the background for it, you have the background to back up these things. Even when it comes to maybe choosing people for positions and stuff, education definitely gives you an advantage. Gives you an advantage. So education gives you credibility. That's why you see most things in business, in technology, in application development, like anything, startups, once they just tell you, they're always eager to say, these guys are Oxford graduates, these guys are from Stanford, these are the guys that are MIT. Once the proposal is backed with those Ivy League schools, somewhere in the sentence, they sell faster. People believe them faster. So education is very, very important. If you can as much as possible, try to make sure that your master's degree is in a different school, in a different country than you did, like maybe your first degree, like your BSc. Try to make your master's degree international, or whatever secondary degree you want to have. Try to make it international, in the sense that go to a different country, go to a different school. You need that exposure, you need that networking. It just sort of exposes you to how things are done in different parts of the world. So these are like I just choose these 25 things. These are like 25 things I told him, among other things, but these are like some of the things I discussed with him. I hope this was also helpful with you, for you, and I hope that you've picked up a thing or two from this that you can add to your life. I think I'll try to maybe list all the points and then put it in the description for this video when I post it. Feel free to use this, maybe improve on it or add or remove whatever you want, and then use it as you deem fit. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.